And we're back at the line table with this week's Line Opinion panelists. The Santa Fe Reporter is in court this week to argue for the paper's lawsuit against Governor Martinez's administration. The suit alleges government officials violated the state's Inspection of Public Records Act, or IPRA, and the paper says that administration officials have essentially blacklisted the paper by refusing to respond to questions or interview requests, but continue to speak to other media outlets in the state. Laura, this whole idea of picking favorites, I'm glad we're talking about this because we're seeing this play out on the national scale as well. Who gets unserved here when you pick one paper or two other papers and not another one, or radio, whatever the case may be, to give them information for their listeners? Do you actually serve your own constituents by blackballing papers? That's my first question here.
Well, I mean, you serve your base, I guess. I mean,
guess,
because
yeah.
whoever your base is, and the people who elected you, probably, they're not likely to be reading those. Like, for example, with Martinez, I mean, there's not a lot of people who supported her per se in certain parts of the state that are reading the Santa Fe Reporter. But in terms of freedom of speech, I mean, this is egregious. And in terms of IPRA, it's very interesting because, you know, there isn't a lot of IPRA law out there. There's not a lot of law in general, case law in New Mexico compared to other states. But on IPRA, this is one of the more interesting ones. And some of the rhetoric that's coming out of it is really interesting too. It's just this idea that, that there's, that you can pick and choose. And I think you see at the national level that there's picking and choosing of certain media outlets, calling them fake news. And that's the same thing that's happening in this
That's right. I'm telling reporters to stop making faces in, press conferences.
Right.
Your thoughts on this? You know, the idea that, again, access to information. Talk about that.
Well, I would say so one of the attorneys representing the state said that they are only obligated to talk to large media outlets with breaking news. And the large media outlets are not the only ones doing breaking news. There are lots of very small people who are really getting out there. News is changing. And so my question is I don't like it when government slow rolls IPRAs. I also don't like it when citizens abuse the IPRA privilege, because that can really just drive an agency to their knees. And that's not right either. There's a balance here. But in this case, I have to ask, what are you afraid of? What you think you're going to get criticized by including everybody? You might, but the strength of our government and our processes is many perspectives. And you might even learn something. And so I have a hard time understanding why even the most radical of bloggers that you would exclude.
Well said. Well, I like that. Mark, again, the idea that you can pick and choose folks, I'm curious where your thoughts are on that. I understand administrations have a difficulty with some reporters sometimes. We all get that.
Right.
But this seems rather thin-skinned when I look at it from the outside here, because this goes back to a time when the paper was simply calling the administration out on some hypocrisies about transparency. And apparently that was good enough to get blackballed out of the whole situation. Is that good enough for you? I mean, pointing out something like that?
Well, it's interesting. You remember back in the old days, broadcast print media, they marketed themselves as being fair and balanced. And so you could read an article and you could hear both sides. And even though you might have a political slant, at least you were exposed to the rest of the story. And you may say, interesting, I get that point, right? And then things have evolved to the point where, we're in tweet news now, and Trump, Trump news, and, it's one-sided. So, I think there's a fair question about what's the nature of the journalist. Is it fair and balanced? Because, there are blogs in New Mexico that are slanted left and right. And I know when I was in the legislature, I got slammed by one media outlet, and my instincts are, well, if I have to talk to a couple of people, they're going to be the last one that I talk to. So,
that's human.
There's some interesting issues. The other thing too is, I think the administration makes a good point that this is an unfunded mandate. So, some of the requests on the part of the media, even though it's legitimate, and that information should be delivered to the media. Question is, how long does it take to deliver that? So the information should be available. I don't know if contacting the administration, making them take time to do that is the best way or medium of providing that information. We need more transparency, more documentation online, make it more easily accessible to more people.
There you go. We're just under a minute, Dee Dee. What do you think on this one?
Well,
was Santa Fe the Reporter right to bring this suit and just really get after this? That's my question.
Yes, yes. In the same way that the Associated Press, which was finding out that they were banned from a Trump news conference. Actually, they weren't banned, but the New York Times and the Washington Post was banned, and they voluntarily said, we're not going, because you can't play favorites. You can't pick and choose between the ones that you think are fair and balanced and the ones that other people think are fair and balanced. So, you know, when you run for election, when you sign up to be a public official, part of that is being accessible and transparent.
That's right.
And that is unfortunately not true with this governor.
Right on. Thank you, guys. Good Friday night. Good topics. I'm Gene Grant. Thanks for joining us for New Mexico in Focus. Now, we're hosting a special event in Albuquerque on April 4th. New Mexico PBS and our partners in the People, Power, and Democracy Project want to hear how everyday New Mexicans would improve our state government. It's free, but you must RSVP. So to do that, go to newmexicoinfocus.org for more information. Now, we appreciate your time and effort to stay informed and engaged. See you next week in Focus.
Funding for New Mexico in Focus provided by the McCune Charitable Foundation and the Nalita E. Walker Fund for KNME-TV, the KNME-TV Endowment Fund, and viewers like you.